You want to hang out another minute?
No.
We'll call this meeting of February 26th, the regular council meeting to order. Would you call the roll, please?
Miller,
Yes?
Williams,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Lesh.
Yes.
First item is approval of minutes of February 12th, regular session.
Move approval of the minutes from February 12th. Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Nichols,
Abstain.
Lesh.
Yes.
First item under new business resolutions is Bill Number 2018-12, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with Presser Arts Center for requested funding from the Mexico tourism tax. Reading by title only and passage. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor. We have received a request for funding for tourism tax dollars. The Commission has reviewed the request and has a recommendation. And to cover that recommendation, we'll turn to Roger Haynes.
Good evening, Council. The Mexico Tourism Commission met on Tuesday, February 20th, and reviewed an application for tourism funding and recommends to City Council the following. The Presser Arts Center requested $2,000 for a 2018 spring production, Godspell, to be held in March. The Commission reviewed the application and gave thorough consideration and recommends to Council funding in the amount of $1,500. As a little history, in 2017, the spring performance was funded for $1,500, and $1,333 was actually utilized by PAC. Secondly, this particular production will be in the Stribling Black Box, which it was the Commission's understanding will hold about 175 people per production, whereas the main theater holds about 600 per production. So with the number of events given, they're anticipating with at full capacity each production, around 1,400 in attendance. And again, that is why the Commission elected to recommend $1,500 for the event. Staff recommends that Council concur with the Mexico Tourism Commission's recommendation and proceed with reading by title only and passage of the attached resolution.
Questions?
So did we do this last year too?
Yes, we had a spring Easter production last year, but it was held within the larger theater area. And that theater holds approximately 600 each production, whereas the Black Box Theater that's being utilized this time will hold about 175. So it's a downsized production.
But did we downsize our request for money?
The Commission elected not to. It's still less than, it's approximately $1 per estimated attendee, and the fact that this was the first production to take place in the new Stribling Black Box facility.
May I add, I know that production is also going to be running 3 weekends versus the normal 1 or 2. So they're also...
Cheryl's pleasure.
I move for reading by title only of Bill Number 2018-12.
Miller,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Lesh.
Yes. Bill Number 2018-12, resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with Presser Arts Center for requested funding from the Mexico tourism tax. Move for passage of Bill Number 2018-12.
Miller,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Lesh.
Yes.
Next item is Bill Number 2018-13, a resolution accepting the conveyance of a right-of-way and temporary construction easements for the Whole Street Reconstruction Project. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor. As we noted at the last meeting, we need to acquire easements from adjacent property owners. We have another easement to approve. To cover the details of this, we'll turn to Kenzie Russell.
There's really not much by way of additional details. We continue to work towards acquiring the necessary easements and right-of-way conveyances for the project. We picked up one between the last meeting and this meeting, and so we're presenting it for acceptance.
Questions, anyone?
Make a motion to read bill number 2018-13 by title only.
Second.
Miller.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Fletch.
Yes.
Bill number 2018-13, a resolution accepting the conveyance of a right-of-way and temporary construction easement for the Holt Street reconstruction project. I move for passage of bill number 2018-13.
Second.
Miller.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols. Yes. Fletch.
Yes.
Next item is Bill number 2018-14, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign a general task order contract with Horner and Schifrin to provide GIS data and services to the city of Mexico, Missouri. Mr. Schlegel.
Yes, Your Honor. As part of the continuous repairs and improvements to the wastewater system, as you know, we've had Horner and Schifrin as our engineer on this project for some time, and we have some additional work to do. And so we need to continue to approve their contract for professional services. To cover the details, we'll turn to Kenzie Russell.
This actually covers both sewer work and GIS work, which are interrelated. We have a hosting agreement with Horner and Schifrin for our GIS system. They host it on their computer and maintain it for us, do the software upgrades and that sort of thing. There's an annual fee for that particular contract. However, from time to time, we do need to have some additional work done, and in this case, it is to work towards completing the mapping of our sanitary sewer system. And we also have some additional work with traffic sign inventory that we want to put into the GIS system. Those items are outside the scope of the hosting contract, and so we have proposed here a general task order contract. There's no cost to this, but it then allows us to negotiate a scope for various tasks and a cost, and to bring that back under this contract. So for example, we will have a task order under this contract for the mapping that will come back to the council, because that will cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $30,000, and we'll bring that back as a separate approval for you at the time that that's prepared. But this provides the umbrella, the framework for those items that are related to the work that Horner and Schifrin has been doing for us, and because of their hosting, we'll continue to turn to them for. And so we're recommending that this general task order contract be set up to allow for some of those kinds of things to continue here in the future.
Questions?
I move that I read bill number 2018-14.
Second.
Miller.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Fletch.
Yes.
All you have to do is read title only anymore.
About title only.
That's all you got to do now.
Bill number 2018-14, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign a general task order contract with Horner and Schifrin to provide GIS data and services to the city of Mexico, Missouri. I move for passage of bill number 2018-14.
Second.
Miller.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Fletch.
Yes.
Next item under other business is staff report on 2018 work compensation insurance. Mr. Schlegel.
Yes, Your Honor. This year we went out for full bids for our work comp insurance carrier. And to cover the details of the bid and recommendation, we'll turn to Roger Haynes.
On December 8, 2017, Administrative Services staff advertised in the Mexico Ledger and delivered to requesting agency a request for proposal for workers' compensation insurance for the upcoming plan year. The Gallagher Insurance Group and Winter Dent Insurance as agencies sought proposals from the market. The city received 2 quotes from the market and several declinations, and they are as follows. Those declining to quote were AM Trust North America, Accident Fund, Berkshire Hathaway, First Comp, Liberty Mutual, Risk Innovations, and Travelers. The 2 quotes received, the first one was Missouri Employers Mutual for $251,545, and the second one, Missouri Rural Services Workers' Compensation Insurance Trust for $218,476. These quotes are subject to year-end audited payrolls. The current budget year estimate, what was placed in the budget, was $258,742. Staff believes the proposal provided by Missouri Rural Services Workers' Compensation Insurance Trust, as quoted through the Gallagher Insurance Group, to be the best overall proposal with consideration of the combination of pricing and services offered. Therefore, staff is making 2 recommendations. Staff recommends to council that Missouri Rural Services Workers' Compensation Insurance Trust be selected as the city's workers' compensation insurer for the period of 1 year beginning April 1, 2018, with an option to renew for 2 additional 1-year terms subject to acceptance by the City of Mexico. And secondly, staff further recommends that Gallagher Insurance Group be named the agency of record. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
What percentage increase or decrease is this over last year's?
Last year's was roughly $223,000.
So a little bit down?
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
And again, that was prior to the payroll audit. That's where they actually come in and review our payrolls under all the departments and place a rate, let us know if they are to refund or if they need to surcharge us.
Question?
Go ahead.
I just said any more questions?
Yeah, and one more.
Right.
So has it been going down every year, or is it just last year it went down?
No, actually, our rates have gone up consistently over the past 6 or 7 years, due not only to the cost of medical services, but also due to the number and severity of claims that we've had.
It's your all's pleasure.
Make a motion we accept the city's recommendation to name Missouri Rural Service Workers' Compensation Insurance Trust as the workers' comp company and to accept Gallagher Insurance Group to be named as the agency of record.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Lesh.
Yes.
Next item, claims, payment of the claims.
Make a motion to pay the claims.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Lesh.
Yes.
Next item are comments. First with the council. We'll begin with Mr. Ron.
Well, I just want to thank Russell for all his work on the work-ready community thing. That's very important to our community, and it's good for economic development in the community. And it's good for the people, being able to be trained and be able to get a job. So I think that's very important. Thank you for all your work. You worked at that for a long time. That's all.
Mr. Williams.
I'll echo that, and I've been a big supporter of that, and I think, just my personal opinion, I think schools nowadays focus so much on college prep. There's a whole nother world out there, and most people don't do college prep work when they get out of school and they go into their respective fields. So I think it's awesome that we're doing something to set ourselves apart. I also like to say congratulations to MHS wrestlers who finished #1 in the state. That's awesome. I had the pleasure of reading the proclamation for the Dr. Martin Luther King ceremony. That was a nice event. I really enjoyed the speaker, Miss Missouri. Believe it or not, if you ever get the chance to go listen to her, she was spot on. I really enjoyed her. My only question is, I have a couple of things have been mentioned to me about the new Teal Lake development. One is, I guess they changed that to be 2-story buildings now instead of 1-story buildings, as they originally proposed. And did that have to go through anybody, or they just do that? or
I
how's
think
that
they were 2-story to begin with, weren't they?
Two-story.
Were they
to begin
two?
with.
They were
Yeah.
two. Okay, somebody said that. The second one is there's nothing we can do about it. But I'm very saddened because when they came here, they said, "Oh, we're gonna really try and use local people," and they have like 0 local companies out there. Very few.
Yeah, the company that dug the sewer was local, and the dirt work was done by local.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as building, it's all out of Springfield companies. They're doing that. I guess that's their home base or whatever. So that's just kind of saddening to me because that's a lot of work out there, and I appreciate the fact they did some dirt work and stuff, but that's not the majority of that money that's being spent out there. So I wish that we could have got some of that for our local businesses. So that's all.
Mr. Nichols?
One of these days, you're going to start here, so I get to make the first comments. Yes.
Yeah, I'll do. Next time.
Next time, yeah. On the job, on the career day, did a good job there. Didn't get a 10, but heard it was a success. And the rest of it did good. Martin Luther King Day was good. So that's about it. It's up to you.
I'm going to keep mine simple. I'll just say ditto on everything, pretty much so.
Well, I was involved in the Job Ready student thing, and it was, somebody said they thought we had 1,000 people go through it, so it'll be interesting to see how well it does for some people, but it's supposed to give them an idea that there are jobs in Mexico, and you might want to stay here. I thought it was interesting, at the first they had a couple of speakers. You sat down and before you went into the gym where the exhibits were, and the speaker talked, and one of the questions he asked every group was, how many of you plan on staying in Mexico after you graduate? And there was never a single student who said they were going to stay in Mexico after graduation. So, and he reminded them that he had the same opinion when he graduated from high school, but look, he's back here. So that was kind of interesting. And again, the wrestling thing, I attended that and made a proclamation yesterday, and I'd say there was a couple of hundred people there. It was a pretty good sized group of people, and they were kind of rowdy and noisy, especially Russell there. He was awful rowdy, but we got him to yelling a little bit about Bulldog Tough and things, so it was good. So, Mr. Slagle.
I have nothing at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. At this time, we're open for public comments. If you'd like to make a comment, please step to the podium, state your name and address, and we ask you to hold it to 3 minutes, please. Seeing no one coming to the podium, I move we adjourn into work session to inspect city-owned property.
Second.
Miller,
Yes?
Williams,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Lesh.
Yes.